Helen Yee here at Xtreme Couture. Always great to be joined by the one and only Mr. Jake Shields. Always great to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. How are you doing?
Good. And I know you just taught a grappling class here at Xtreme Couture, right?
Yeah, I just got done working with a lot of the pro fighters. We did some technique and then went live a little bit. And currently, as we speak, everyone's sparring. I don't know if they can hear it in the background noise, but guys are beating each other up right now.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, one of them being Sean Strickland, he has a huge fight coming up against Israel Adesanya. How do you see that playing out?
I think it's a really tough fight. I train with Sean and his friends, so obviously I'm biased, but Izzy's phenomenal. That's not an easy fight. I think Sean can get the win, but he needs to be smart. I would think Sean doesn't really listen. He's not the most coachable guy, but I would tell him don't try to trade strike for strike. But I told him the same thing when he fought
Pereira.
Yeah, Pereira. I told him the same thing. He doesn't really listen, so I think if he plays it smart, goes to takedowns, I think he gets the win. His wrestling and jiu-jitsu is good. He's really good at getting up. He's hard to hold down. He's good at keeping people down and grounded and pound him. I think he's underrated there. But, Sean likes to stand and bang, and Izzy's a dangerous striker.
Well, speaking of another middleweight that's been through these doors as well, Khamzat Chimaev, he was briefly here for a little bit. He has a fight against Paulo Costa. I know we've talked about Khamzat in the past, so what do you make of that matchup?
Man, that's a great fight, especially considering the bad blood they had. I got caught in the middle of some of that. Almost got in a brawl with Paulo and him, and I'm obviously strongly on Paulo's side. I think he'll win, but again, that's a really tough fight. I think Chimaev is really dangerous, and he goes out there and he kind of bullies people. So I think Paulo, if he can get through that first round, because he comes out there so aggressive. But I think he gets to the first round, I think he'll break a little bit mentally, and I think Paulo can start picking him apart.
Well, we all know Paulo not only is a great fighter, but great at memes as well. But someone else who's kind of trending on Twitter right now, Dillon Danis, your good friend.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of Dillon. He's kind of an idiot, but he's done a great job trolling and getting attention on Twitter. I'm starting to feel a little bad for Logan Paul and his girl because he's just roasting him. So it's a little brutal, but it's been pretty funny and pretty comical. I think and Logan he's done a terrible job of defending himself. He's kind of just ignored it and let his girl's honor get attacked. He needs to do something, in my opinion. And but this is probably Dillon's biggest win because the guy he's generally not good at smack talking at all. Usually when I've gone in him, I've just smoked him. So I don't know if he has someone helping him or if he's gotten a little more clever. But
well, do you think he shows up to that fight?
He probably won't even show up as the funny part. Dillon's probably just enjoying the hype and fame he's getting from hype in the fight, but he's not. He's backed out of several fights with me. I think Logan will beat the crap out of him in a boxing fight. I could be wrong, but I think I think his shit talking is better than his fighting.
Well, speaking of great fighters, though, and fan favorites, last time I saw you, it was at Nate Diaz's fight. How is he doing?
Good. Obviously he was a little bummed after losing the fight, but he had zero damage. He's used to, getting, because he has a scar tissue, he's always getting cut backwards. He was, wasn't tired, had no cuts. He's like, this wasn't bad. But, we're competitive, so we all hate losing fights. But overall, he got a good payday. He still has his fan base. He had an amazing fight. Who knows? Maybe an MMA fight.
Yeah. Do you think that would be next, him versus Jake in MMA, or do you think that he goes back to MMA or UFC?
I honestly haven't had that talk with him, so I can't really give any insight. I know before the fight, he definitely wanted to keep fighting, though. He had no intention of retiring soon, and he wasn't against going back to the UFC by any means. But I haven't talked to him if he'd want to do an MMA fight with Jake or Connor or what's next. So.
Well, Nick, he expressed interest afterwards about boxing Logan Paul or having a fight there. So, is he, been more interested in returning?
Yeah, Nick has been, training on and off the last year, for a while he wasn't training for a few years. He's not training like he was when he was fighting, but at least he is back in the gym, which is a great sign, and he has shown a lot of interest to want to fight. He's at least good enough shape now where he could get in fight shape fairly quick. Before he wasn't really there. Now he could, in probably 8 weeks be in fight shape.
Well, I know you've been a world traveler, traveling all over. Just got back from Austin. How was that?
Austin's always great. It's a fun city. My one of my jiu-jitsu coaches, John Donahue and Gordon Ryan, are out there, so I got to go train with those guys. Gary Tonin, that's always fun. Stopped by, checked out Joe Rogan's new comedy club, which is a super cool club he built. I'm not like a big comedy guy. Well, I do enjoy comedy, but it was cool. I got to see he has this big main room, and then right after I went and walked. The security brought me to check out the small room, and Joe went straight from his set of where he was headlining right to the small room where he's practicing material. So it was cool to see how the comics write, because Joe just went to headlining a polished set, and then he went straight back to the small room where he's just messing around, goofing off, working on new material. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. It's like watching a fighter practice. It's watch a comedian practice.
Kind of cool to see the behind the scenes of Joe Rogan and comedy as well.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. Like I said, I don't know that much about comedy other than talking to Joe Rogan, but it's really cool seeing what he's built. You could tell it's something he's truly passionate about, and I hear he pays the comedians great. He brings phenomenal comedians in there. Every time I go to one of his show, his openers just kill it too.
Well, you look like you're in fighting shape. So when can we see something from you?
Dillon Danis? No, I'm kidding. I would fight him. That'd be an easy one.
Grappling? Or fighting, anything?
Fighting, whatever. No, I just stay. I enjoy training. I like to stay in shape. I'm not looking for fights, but I'm a little older, but I still feel healthy. If there was a fight that was a big name and good payday, I'd hop back in there. It's got to be a fight that makes sense. I'm not trying to fight just to fight anymore. But if there was a fight that made sense, I would do it.
And Dillon makes sense?
Yeah, right. Especially if he beats Logan, but I doubt it. I think Logan will probably beat him up.
And for all the fans who love you and follow you on Twitter or X now, what would you like to let them know?
Just thanks for all the years of support, whether you're an old fan or new fan. Just thanks for supporting me.